Someone says something that sounds completely reasonable. Everyone around you accepts it, but something inside you pauses. Not because you are suspicious, but because something doesn't quite add up. You can't always explain it immediately. You just know something is off. Science explains exactly why certain minds are harder to fool. 1. They question what others accept. Most people accept information at face value. If it sounds logical, they move on. But analytical minds don't work that way. They automatically ask why. Why is this person telling me this? What do they gain from my agreement? Is there another explanation I haven't considered yet? This habit of questioning is not paranoia. It is a natural filter that makes manipulation significantly harder to execute. 2. They read patterns, not just words. Manipulative people rely on inconsistency. They say one thing, but their behavior tells a different story. For most people, words are enough, but certain minds track patterns over time. They notice when the story changes slightly, when the explanation shifts depending on the audience, when the behavior doesn't match the message. And once that pattern becomes visible, the manipulation becomes much easier to recognize. 3. They recognize emotional pressure tactics. Manipulation often works through emotion, guilt, urgency, fear, flattery. These tactics are designed to bypass rational thinking, to make you feel before you think. But minds that process deeply recognize when emotion is being used as a tool. They feel the pressure, but they also notice it. And that moment of noticing creates space. Space to pause, to think, to respond from reason rather than reaction. 4. They are comfortable with silence and uncertainty. Manipulation often relies on pressure. Decide now. Answer immediately. Don't take time to think. But intelligent minds are comfortable sitting with uncertainty. They don't need to fill silence with a rushed decision. They are willing to say, "I need more time before I respond." And that simple ability to pause completely disarms most manipulation attempts. Because manipulation depends on momentum, and patience destroys momentum. 5. They trust their own perception, perhaps the most important factor. Manipulative people often try to make you doubt what you see. You're overreacting. That never happened. You're being too sensitive. For many people, that kind of pressure works. But minds that have learned to trust their own observations are much harder to destabilize. They know what they saw. They know what they felt. And no amount of reframing changes what they directly experience. The core reality. Being harder to manipulate does not mean being cold or untrusting. It simply means your mind processes information carefully before accepting it. Most people respond to what is presented. Some respond to what is actually happening. And that difference changes everything. If you have ever sensed something was wrong before you could explain why, stay here. Because on this channel, we don't just observe behavior, we explain the psychology behind it.